Here is everything I did in week 3 for my second semester of nurse practitioner school. Sorry it took me so long to get around making this video, but you guys already know how it is juggling school, juggling work, and making videos. It's a lot, but let's get straight into it. Week 3 was definitely a feedback week. We got a lot of our grades and some feedback from our professors. It was really good for us. Again, we know the direction in which the professor wants us to go, and pretty much like I said before, really follow that rubric. Grad school is about following instruction and answering the prompt thoroughly and reflecting more introspection and applying what you're learning to yourself and like it clinically. My first lab was for my formulating strategies class. You pretty much get an introduction in what system thinking is. We had to read a lot about it. I mean, the 4 types of thinking, which are linear thinking, strategic thinking, dynamic thinking, and systems thinking. So that was that week. We were definitely diving into knowing what system thinking is, getting an idea, doing all the readings, and this was our prompt for that post. For leadership project for that class, we had to, I told you I'm reading The Art of War. So it was mostly creating a paper, just illustrating the book that I'm using, how our group is meeting that term. We decided to communicate through via text. And we have a Google Drive document that we update constantly, and we just pull from that the information. And we do meet at once a week. We set up our schedule for when we're meeting. My reflection, it was some key observation in human health and food system. So this class is really having us reading about climate change, about food scarcity, how does environmental change affect your patient, how does all those things, how does that affect our patient that we're seeing, how does that affect healthcare, how does that affect the choices our patient make. So that is what this class is helping us figure out, is how systems work and how we fit within that system as nurses and as now future APRNs. I did submit my blog post number 2 during the 3rd week. I will put the prompt here as well. And I pretty much ended that week with an 86%. For my evidence-informed and scholarship class, that is the class I'm doing my DNP project in. And I will make a video about my DNP. I'm sorry again, it's like a lot. Working in grad school, no I'm learning, I won't be able to work. I'll talk about that more. But for that class, that week, we had to just read about the 4 types of change models and then apply those change models to a scenario. So the change models we learned were the change curve model, that was the first one, then Kotler and Kong's model of change, and then the trans-theoretical model of handling behavioral change, and then Rogers' diffusion of innovation. So those were the 4 change model we had to read, and then we were hit with one of 2 scenarios that we had to apply these change model to. Another part of that assignment was to do our Myers-Briggs personality test and figure our leadership style out and apply that personality test to that scenario. I think I ended that class for that week with an 85%. So I'm doing okay so far. I'm balancing like a mid B/high B. And then for pharmacology, we really went over CNS medication, pain medication, psychotherapy medication, and substance use disorder medication. If you guys want me to do a pharmacology section separate because it's like different, these videos just like summing up more in detail what I do for each class, but I could do separate classes. But let me know if that would help you guys, like give you an idea. I wrote my first prescription for albuterol. It was an asthma patient, exercise-induced asthma. So that was really cool, doing that assignment, like figuring out what you need on a prescription. Really is like the 5 rights of medication, just like a little bit more because you'll need certain instruction. And I'm learning a lot like what SIG is. SIG is like the direction of how to use the medication, and I'm pretty much learning that we need to spell it out. Even though for albuterol, I did lose points because my professor said from their experience, they had a patient who used their inhaler like a cologne. So spell it out to put it in your mouth and take 2 puffs, don't just puff. But that's pretty much all my class for the 3rd week. Again, I'm so sorry it took me this long to film, but I will be on top of it. And definitely follow me over on Instagram. I post pretty much daily and update, but stay tuned. And yeah, that was week 3.